Yeah. Am I audible? Hello? Hello, sir. Am I audible? Are you getting my voice?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay. So what about the screen? So is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Screen is visible. Okay. So let us do the actual work. Actual work in the sense. So up to now we learned actually what is the use of the queues and how can you use the queues. These things and all. Now we can do actual work like a so. We're taking the item, the performer kind of thing, okay? The performer word. What the performer will do? The performer will take the new item from the queue and process it. Process it in the sense, whatever the process we discussed morning, that's like so checking the business exceptions and update the status, approval and reason for the rejection, these things and all, okay? Let's do it, performer. Here we're checking so whether everything is a mandatory. If it's nothing, so that means if anything is nothing, any field, whether it's name, phone number, TP number, company name, these are all the mandatory fields. If anything is nothing, then you just throw the exception. This is a one business exception. Next thing is like yes, another throw. If condition. Once that is done, next thing is we have to check. What is the next thing? We have to check so whether this is available in the list or not, okay, company list or not, right? So take the company list first of all. This is a company list is there. Take the company list first of all. Let us go back here. Instead of read every time, I'm just taking the company list here, the read range, okay, read range. And what is a company list? This is a valid company list path. Shift right click, you can find the shift right click, copy as a path, use here, okay, sorry. Here is a sheet one only. Okay, so sheet one only. So we're just taking the sheet one company. So create a new variable for the data table like a company DT, company's DT, or something like this, one data table. So company's DT here in this process, while you're processing, you have to check so whether the network company or not. These are just titles to just understand. So how can we check company name? How can we check this company name? Filter data table. There's a filter data table. You can filter the data table. The company name is like it's a company DT and current DT. So something like the current DT. So this filter wizard will just give you to filter the data. Okay. Okay, just check. So company DT you are filtering with the current DT. So keep the values, the company name. Suppose for example, this is a name of the company column. Just copy this company name. If the company name is equal to, you can just select the operators here, is equal to company variable. The company variable is coming from the queue. Okay, so what we are checking is once we take the new item, we're checking this company is available in this list or not. Okay, so how we are checking? So we're checking with this operator, and once this company is there, so this current DT will have a one record, single record. Okay, if there is no company available in this list, then the current DT rows is a 0. Now here, check the current DT dot rows dot count is equal to 0. What it mean? Equal to 0 means there is no company available in here. Okay, the company which is coming from the this record, this company which is coming from the a new transaction item that is not available in the valid company list. If there is no available and the valid company list, what we have to do? We have to just throw the exception, business exception again. So new business rule exception of what is that message? Not in network companies. Okay. The second business exception is also done. What is the next thing? The third thing. The third is like a salary should be greater than 40,000. Okay. Now let us try another if condition. This is a salary check. So if the mandatory fields is done, so the all is not nothing, then we'll go to the else condition and come here. If the company is matching, then this if condition also it will go to the else condition. It won't go to the then block because the company is available in the network things, and it will come here. This if condition is like a checking the salary is greater less than 440K. Okay, 40,000. So what is the salary? Salary is another field, right? Salary is there. What happened here? Salary. We're not. Where is the salary? I think we forgot to add the salary, right? The salary we're not adding. So we added only these columns, right? We're not added the salary. So let us try to add the salary. Okay. Try to add the salary also here. Salary is a field row of the salary column. Okay, and what I'm doing is simply I'm just removing this queue and recreating because this structure is different, right? So because this is existing queue item structure is a totally different. There's no salary field. Okay, so I'm just making this as a empty. Click on the add. Now let's try to run the dispatches. I'm just running the dispatches so that it will give the all the items, adding all the items. Okay, Excel is open. Okay, see here, Excel is open because Excel should not be open. So because as you are using the workbook activities, we're using the workbook activities, that's why you should not use the Excel, keep it open. So transactions, run the bot again. See, there is a two parts. What is the dispatcher? We ran the dispatcher. Dispatcher is reading the Excel and loop each and every row from the Excel, loading every item into the queue. So let us see dispatcher is run successfully, and you can see the lot of queue items are there. Fresh queue items. You can see fresh queue items are there. New status. So the salary is also came. In the performer, so you can just simply update the salary, add the new record, salary. Salary and here salary is less than 4,000, right? 40,000. So if it's less than 40,000, okay, so that is a problem. Okay, see here, salary is a string. Okay, you can't compare. See here, what is the error it is throwing? You can't compare the string variable with the a mathematical comparison. So less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to convert this string variable to the integers. How can we convert? C int. C is the convert. And the data type is a int. C convert that salary into the integer and compare with the 40,000 number. Okay, so if the salary is greater less than 400, let's throw the another business exception. So new business exception, business rule exceptions. So low salary. Okay, so this is our business rule. There's a three rules. If everything is working fine, everything is our salary is good, and the company is available in the network companies, and all the mandatory fields are available, then here the actual process will come. So the actual process is like a, let's try here, update, approve. Okay, approve. Okay, so here In the approve, what we have to do, we have to read Excel application scope, Excel application scope. I'm just taking the Excel path. So how can we take the Excel path? The same way how we taken from here. So the dynamic, yesterday's Excel only, okay? Paste here, you can make this as a variable, but yeah, paste here and write cell. So you have to write a cell and the Excel activities. Just take the Excel activities, not workbook activities. So because we are in the Excel application scope. So here, write a cell where we have to approve. We have to make this as a approve or rejected, right? So this is a F column, F. So, but the ID, the number F3, F4, F5. So how can we know? F is a common. See here, F is common and sheet 1 only. What we have to update? Approve. Okay, approve. Approved. Okay, and F. What is that number, right? The number is coming from row Excel row. This Excel row is like a Excel row dot toString. Okay. So what is this Excel row? Excel row from the queue. While we are adding into the queue, we added the Excel row. Which record it has to add? Got it? Which record? Basha 14th record. See here. This is a 14. This is a F14. Those records also we just updated here, right? Where we have to update also we added into the queue. So that's so we don't have to track. So this is for just connecting dispatch run performance. We just use this Excel row. Now it will update is a approve. After that, so you have to change the color also, right? Color, just change the color. Set the color. Set range color. Set range color. This is a range. Copy the range and paste here. This range here, and the color is like a color dot green. Okay, it's color dot green on sheet 1 only. That's it. So we're just approving code. We return approving code, and the rejection code. Rejection code. How can we write a rejection code in the here? I'm just taking the try and catch block in the whole process. Copy, move everything into the try block, everything. So that means reading the data and loading into the variables, checking for the exceptions, business exceptions, right? And everything you just moved up to approve. Okay, if everything is working fine in the try block, we'll go and approve that particular cell. If any exception occurs, suppose for example business exception, business rule exception is there, what we have to do, we have to reject. So let us take the same copy, approve copy into the business exception, and so expand this one here, the same thing, reject. What is the reason? Reject. Not only this reject, you have to update. You have to update the G column also, reason. Okay. You have to update the G column also. G, and what is the reason? Exception dot message. What it mean? Exception dot message means the reason is stored in this exception, because we are this business exception, right? So if any business exception, suppose this is a mandatory fields is not there, so then it will throw the exception. That exception message is a missing information into the catch block. So suppose here it is throwing the exceptions, then it is showing the no, not in the network companies. Got it? So suppose the exception occurred in this low salary, so then it will just say that reason is like a low salary. That is a message. And once any exception occurred in the try block, it will go to the catch block, the business corresponding catch block, the business exception. Here we're just updating the exception dot message why it is a failing, and the color also you can make change to the red. Okay, so red, and you add another exception, business normal exception, system exception, and simply just log the message. Log the message. What is the exception dot message? Okay. Okay, so I think we're done with that. We don't have any value updated. So let us close and run. One run. Okay. So the performer we're running, everything is a new item into the queue. Okay. And see, it is taken one and approved. So open this Excel. It's taken one and it's approved. Got it? You understand? Okay, if I run again, one more time, what will happen? It will take another record and it will approve or reject it based on the condition. See here, the another bot is running, so it is also approved because everything is working good. Approved. So how can we loop everything? Because we develop for the one. What happened? Let us see. It will take the new item and store into the new item queue item, and it is checking. So new item is not nothing. Then it will go here. If it's a nothing, then it will go and stop the process. Okay. In the process, we're checking for the new items and the try and catch, assigning all the values by using the specific content of the name, specific content of the phone number, right? Everything into the variables, and checking for the business exceptions. If the business exceptions are there, it will throw the exception. Otherwise, it will just update the approve. So it is working for the single items. What we have to do now for running the multiple items? Just simply connect this one to this one. Okay. You understand? Once it is done, by connecting to this one, so once this is completed for one record, we'll go and take the another record, check the conditions. If the new item is there, it will complete the another record and take another record. Like up to how many times it will loop. This is a loop, okay, loop. And if there is no items, up to there is no item, new items are available in the queue. In the it's taking the item. There's no item. And the item is nothing. It will stop the process here. All right. Let's try to run. So here we have remaining things has to complete. Let's try to run our process, perform our process. Yeah, performer is see, you can just observe what is going on in the Excel. So it is just doing the robot is doing the taking the information, checking the information. If it is approved, it will approve. If it is rejected, it will reject and update the reason also. How much time it is taken? The human is doing the same type of work. How much time it takes? A lot of time, right? So just see, not seeing this only 15 numbers. Just see 1 lakh records are there. The human has to do, robot has to do. Robot is 3 times faster than the human. So we have to utilize that capability. Okay. See here, rejected, low salary is a below rejected as not in the networks. Infosys is not there in the our network companies, valid network companies. We don't have Infosys. That's why it is rejected. Is rejected because no network companies because it's not mandatory. It's a mandatory, right? So it's a basically I think no network companies. Here there is some bug is there. Okay, so empty. It's a checking the empty, not the. See here also. Okay, here also it is not updated. Do you observe? Here actually it is saying the approved, but actually it has to fail because the phone number is missing. Here also it is saying the non-network companies, but actually so it should not say that network companies. It is saying that company is missing. Okay, and let's remove this TP, not TP. Here, remove this TP. Okay, so let's change the code. Basically, what happens? So here, instead of nothing, this nothing is not working. Okay, nothing is not working. So what we have to do? We just simply use the dot trim dot equals empty. So that so if it is empty or right. So company dot toString is already there. Trim dot equals empty again or number dot trim Why I'm just using the trim? So if any spaces in between left hand side or right hand side of the value, so it will just remove that value. So and it will check the using the or method whether it's a empty or not. TP number dot trim dot equals or empty. So or yeah, what is that, salary dot trim dot equals empty. Okay, this is our condition, not nothing. This is our condition. See here, got it. So if anything is empty, then just throw the exception. So now I'm just removing everything and make that as a common. Okay, so the original save and close. Now we don't just check the queue, how the queue looks like. And also, okay, there is another problem is also there because we are not properly updating the status of the queue also, because as it is everything is in progress. Okay, the one important point I will tell here. So it's the interview questions. What will happen if the queue goes to the in progress? What about this item? Okay, if another item if it runs, it will take the new item only, not the in progress item, right? So what happened to this one? This will just make that a leave it as a often. So what is the thing? The thing is like it will go for the abandoned stage after 24 hours. Okay, queue item in progress in the UI path. So what happened if you go to the in progress, the status changed to the in progress, it will go to the abandoned stage. There is another okay, so let us see here. So there is a status called abandoned. Okay, it will go automatically after 24 hours. Just checking that. See here. The in progress status will evaluators go to the abandoned after 24 hours. Got it? So this is also interview question. So normally you have to know. So what will happen? So what about that queue item? If it's in progress, we're not able to take that one. It will go to the abandoned stage. Now there is two things we have to update. One is the one we updated already. This equal to empty. The another thing is like setting the status of the queue. So if it is updated successfully, this is approved, right? Approved successfully. We have to set the transaction status to the success. Success was a queue item, new queue item. Okay, that is fine. But what about the error in the business exception? So you have to set the transaction status to the failure, and that is a business exception. And what is the queue item? New queue item. And what is the reason? The reason is like a exception dot exception. So it is not coming. Exception is the exception. Okay, this is exception dot message. Yeah. Okay. So you have to update the reason also for setting. So two things we have to keep in. One thing is you have to properly update the status whether it's a success or fail. So success or fail. The second thing is a failure also you have to take care. Now we don't have any new items. So do you have any new items available in the queue? No new items. That's why if you see the output panel, you can see there is no data available, right? No data available. Now, this is a performer. There's a performer, and go to the dispatcher and run the dispatcher. So once you run the dispatcher, it will add again the new items to the queue, and you can have a data for process for the performer. Okay, so now let us refresh. I think we have a new items. Let's go and check the all. You have a lot of new items are there. New items are there. Okay, so forget about these things and all. Okay, forget about this things up to new. Okay, so let us try to run our process. So before that, let's open and check. Have data, we don't have data, everything is clear. So let's run our process performer bot. Just observe how it is doing. So it is taking the items from the queue and go for the corresponding thing and update the status, missing information. Okay, so let's check whether this is executed properly or not. Success, rejected, missing network company, missing information because it is a missing, and here it's not updated. What happened? It's not updated. Oh, because I approved. Okay, perfect. Approved. No reason is required. Okay, rejected. Rejected because the network companies. First of all, it is checking the network companies. Infosys. First priority is this one. The next first priority is empty. Next priority is companies. Next priority is salary. Okay, so first itself, the condition itself is not satisfied. It is not in the network companies. That's why it is a network companies. Next, it is if it's not network companies, it won't check the salary because first itself it is rejected. Okay, for the first condition, it's missing the information because the company is missing here and salary is low. Yeah, 40,000. Not not in network companies, missing the information for this. Okay. Do you understand? So this is a queues, and the one more thing is in the queues is let's do the same thing for okay. So this is a performer, and go and check the queue also. In the queue, you can see some is a success, some is failed. See here, success, success. These are all failed because of the business exception. And check the what is the reason. So why it is a fail. So you're missing information. You can see the what is the reason why it is a fail in these things and all in the queue also from the orchestrator. See, low salary is there. Is a success. Okay, so success we don't have a reason. The failure network not in network companies. Okay, so now if you have any doubts, you can speak now. I mean, otherwise we will go and see another example with the queues only. Okay. You have any doubts in this personal loan approval process, the dispatcher and performer?
No, sir, no one raised any question. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let us. Can you see the another
Okay,
use
no one
case?
question. May I ask?
Sorry, can you see the
I have,
another use case? Yeah, yeah. Tell me, sir. Tell me, sir.
yeah, the thing is it necessary to the orchestrator must see the content of the things that I'm sending for processing?
Is it necessary to?
See the content. See that orchestrator that receives the content from one robot and then gives to performer right here. These
Yeah,
these details that we can see it in orchestrator itself, right?
yeah, yeah.
Why the orchestrator must see this content? Just you need to receive the content and then it has to hand over the content to another robot. No, it's enough. No.
See, it's like a loosely coupled. Okay, so loosely coupled means basically the dispatcher is not hand overing the transaction item, the person I details into the queue, into the performer. Okay, there's a dispatcher and performer is there, right? So it is dispatcher duties are just dispatching the items to the queue. It is a independent. It does not know about whether the performers are running or not. It is not handovering directly to the performer. It is just simply adding the item to the queue. That's it. That is the duty of the dispatcher. The performer duty is also, it does not know whether the data is coming from the Excel or email or anything. It is just simply taking the new item from the queue and process and update the status in the queue. So why we need this information means, suppose for example, we don't, that's why it is not showing the information here. So we are showing, they are showing information in the details. Suppose this is saying the low salary. Reason is a low salary, it is failed. So here itself we can see the details. Oh, this is a Balaji having the low salary, 40,000. Okay, so then that's why it is rejected. Okay, you can monitor everything from the orchestrator.
Okay.
I think you are just thinking about this confidential information, right? Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah.
Why we have to send this confidential information to the
Ah,
orchestrator cloud?
yes, sir. Yes.
Unnecessarily. Okay, so basically this orchestrator is a cloud, even though it is a cloud, so it has a separate login. Okay, got it?
Okay.
Suppose suppose you are sending some confidential mail to me, so I can able to see, but I can able to see because I have only even though it is in the cloud, the Gmail in the cloud, but I only can see because I have a login credentials for my Gmail ID, right?
All
Okay,
right.
in the same way, orchestrator is also a secured one. So who are having the access, that person only can able to see that information, not the other people. This,
Okay.
this, is a, this is a login secure, right?
Oh,
And the another thing also morning session. So I said right. So some people, the banking mainly this is the banking information or mainly the healthcare insurance information. This is
there.
very confidential data.
Yeah.
Okay, very confidential data. They don't want to share in the cloud. That's why they are just purchase the orchestrator on-prem. On-prem means they are just configuring everything orchestrator into their company network.
Okay.
Okay, you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very fine.
Yeah. Any more questions, sir? So from the audience or?
No more questions, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so let us see another example of this. So close this one. So what we can do, simple example with the same queues. I'm just taking an Excel. Let's take an Excel here. Uh, so not this one. Excel. Cities. Okay. City. All cities. So in the all cities, so we'll just take this example using the queues. So city name. Okay. So city name is like a city in Chennai, Kochi, Trivandrum, Angul, Hyderabad, okay, Bangalore. Okay, so these are all the cities. So just imagine each city is a one transaction item. Each city is a one transaction item. Okay, so now we can do one thing. So instead of this, we can just simply prepare a one document or one folder, cities. Inside the cities, we can create a folders like a Chennai, okay, Kochi, Trivandrum, okay, Bangalore. We're not using the Excel. Bangalore. Next one is like a hi Hyderabad. One goal. Okay. So let's imagine. So this is a folders. Every day a person has to just. I'm not going to save this Excel. Okay. This each folder is one transaction. Just imagine each folder name is a one transaction. Every day it has to open this folder. One person has to open this folder. This is another use case, not the personal loan. Another use case. They are opening the google.com. Google. They are opening the Google. And what is the folder? It's a Bangalore, right? Bangalore. So weather in Bangalore. Okay, they have to type the weather in Bangalore, and they will take the weather in Bangalore, and they have to update here. Okay, with the latest Bangalore. Let us take a snipping tool. Take this information. Got it? take a picture, basically take a picture and save this one into the same Bangalore locations. Where is that Bangalore location? In cities, Bangalore, and this is like a today's weather, right? 2020. So hyphen 12th month or December, what is that today, 11th, okay, .jpg. So let us see here, bangalore.jpg. So the what is the duty of the one person? So one person has to go every day into the folder. Suppose tomorrow a new folder come up with the Coimbatore. So robot has to read that Coimbatore also. Okay, let's go to the Bangalore, and here it has to take a screenshot and save as an image of that particular weather. Okay, weather, right? So taking the image and taking the weather info, something like a info. This info is there. Info. This info, it has to log the weather 2020 hyphen DEC December, 3 characters. Just check the characters also. Okay, this is a short month name. The image is having the full month name. Next one is 11. So what is the time? It is at taken the 12:24. So the weather is like, so what is the weather now in the Bangalore? 26. Taking the, so temp is temp 26. Temp bracket 126. Okay. So again, if I run the next time, again it is a taking the and weather and update to the 26, right? Okay. So this is our work. We will just complete this work with the two dispatchers. So let's take a UiPath Studio. One is for the performer, another one is for the dispatcher, and create a queue, new queue item, new queue basically on the orchestrator weather queue, okay, weather queue. And here I'm just making the unique reference. Why I'm making the unique reference means, suppose for example today I take in the weather report for Bangalore. Okay, so today it won't allow us to add the Bangalore queue item again. Okay, so we don't need to take. So this is like a one-time activity. So today every day each city one time only we have take. Okay, today if it is trying to add another time same Bangalore, it won't allow to add in the queue. Okay, let's take your create a weather performance. This is a dispatcher, and the another thing is like a weather performer. In the performer, so we can take the RE framework. So basically this RE framework, okay, let's not go with the RE framework. Okay, so performer, weather, we have two projects. One is a dispatcher and performer. So what we can do, the dispatcher work is like as reading all the folders from the, how many folders are there? Each folder name is each folder name, it is adding into the queue. That is the duty of the dispatcher. Let's go to the dispatcher and click on here. Yeah, so create a something like a so for each activity, for each. So you have to loop each and every folder from the city folder, right? Copy the city folder. Tomorrow they may add Delhi, Pune, right? So they may add anything. So Coimbatore, right? Those things and all. So that's why we should not hard code. I'm just selecting a string, and here, how can we loop each and every folder from the folder name from the a parent directory? There is a .NET like a so directory dot get directories. This is a, let us see. So whether it is giving the directory name or not. Okay, let's try to display message box. Let's try to display message box. Display is the item, so you can change. This is a temporary variable. I'm just displaying the dir. Let us see whether it will display only the folder name or full path of the folder name. See here, it is a full path of the folder name: Bangalore, Chennai, okay, Hyderabad, Kochi, Angol, right? It's a full path. What we need, how can we get the only the name of the folder? There is another method called path dot get file name. Okay, if you give the full path of this full path, then it will give the only the folder name. Now it is saying this Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kochi, Ongole, Trivandrum. Now we will add the queue item. Add queue item. Add queue item. So you can add the item to the queue. So what is the weather queue, right? Weather queue, copy weather queue. And one time it is retrying. So you can just mention the how many number of times. But there's another interview question like, so what is the maximum number? So 1 to 50 only, 1 or 150 between the, okay. So one I'm just giving, click on the add. What's that? The name weather queue is already there. Weather okay, so daily weather queue. Okay, daily weather queue. Click on the add. This is our queue item. So queue name is a daily weather queue. So see the transactions. We don't. It's a brand new queue item. We don't have any new items. So just go here, add the queue name in this place. Daily weather queue and use the add queue items. So okay, add the queue items. What is the city name? City name. The city name is like a path dot get file name of dir. Got it? City folder path. What is the city folder path? Just dir. Okay, this will give the full path of that directory, Bangalore folder or Chennai folder. This will give only the name Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad. Okay, that's what we are adding item to the queue. So that's it. Our performer is done. Dispatcher is done. Dispatcher will dispatch the items to the queue. What is that? What is the transaction item here? The transaction item in this use case is a folder name. Okay. So what it is saying, see the what it is saying, the current creating the transaction, it is giving the exception because we're not supply any reference, unique reference. Okay, so we're not supply any unique reference because the queue item, while we are creating the queue, we just created the queue with the unique reference. Okay, so what we can do here is a reference is there, right? Reference. Let's go here, add the path dot get the file name of dir plus underscore now dot to string. What is the requirement here? The requirement is like a for the Bangalore. If we add queue item for today, you should not add one more item today. Okay, you have to add the same because you making the unique things. Okay, so it should not add. Suppose for example, let us try to add. Now we give the reference. So run the bot and it will add the items to the queue because we gave the reference. The reference should be unique. See here, you can see the reference also here. Got it? You understand? The reference, Trivandrum and Tudenum. Okay, so if I try to add the another, if I try to add the same dispatcher today, it won't add, it won't allow you to add the, see it is throwing the exception. Duplicate reference, it won't add. Got it? So when it will add, if I run the same dispatcher tomorrow, it will add because the tomorrow this ID will change. Trivandrum underscore 2020 12 will come, right? That is a tomorrow. That's why it will allow tomorrow. All right. So that's like some projects. It's like a it will. We need to mention the unique reference. Okay, now this is done. Dispatcher is done. Performer, let's take the performer. What is the duty of the performer? Performer's duty is like is taking the input file, the item. So just check the items. What is the details? The item details is what is the folder city name, the path of the folder. Okay, got it. So what it has to do? Take the new item. So let us use the flow chart. And within the flowchart, so just see, simply add the get transaction item. Okay, getting the transaction item. What is the queue name? This is a queue name, copy, daily weather. Here is a queue name. And here also one more thing is like, suppose for example, a reference. So normally we are taking, suppose for example, Trivandrum. Let's imagine, not in this use case, let's imagine you are adding the, let's go to the previous one. Okay, suppose this person underscore company name. Okay, this person underscore company name. You are adding the actually the queue item. So the Venkat and Google's. Okay, so Satyanarayanan and the HP underscore. If this is a reference, so how we added the reference with the date? Okay, so the person name under company name. If you add the reference like this, you have more than 100 items are available in the queue, the new items, but you have to process only the HP records, not all the records. Do you understand? Okay, there is a lot of records are available into the queue. New items are available. If you just simply use the get transaction item, it will give a new first transaction item, the first in first out, right? The first item it will give the new item, but I don't want to do the first item. I want to complete today. There is a high priority wherever the company is there. HP, we have to complete the HP records only. Okay, HP record. Maybe the first record might not be a HP record. First record might be a Google, right? So somewhere is a HP records are there. In that case, if you add the reference, it will be useful. And while it is retrieving the get transaction item, here there is a reference strategy starts with this reference. Suppose if I just like a HP starts with the HP, it will take the HP record. Suppose for example, just imagine this reference is like a this one company ampersand, okay, underscore ampersand, this one, okay. So if the reference is like this, you understand? Reference is like this. If you want to handle only the HP, starting with the HP, what is the starting with the HP? This one and this one and these two, okay. These are all the starting with the HP. I want to handle only these things now. So how can you retrieve? While retrieving the queue item, if you don't provide any reference strategy, it automatically retrieve the latest queue item. But you can just have the facility to retrieve the specific item. So what is the situation? The situation I'm saying, you have 1,000 items are there, new items. But within the 1,000 items, all 1,000 persons are coming from the different companies. But we have to handle high priorities like HP company candidates. So if you have a reference for each and every transaction item, then immediately you can just use the while you are retrieving, you can just use something like a starting with or equal to this reference number. Got it? While retrieving. Okay, now we're not taking the any reference because we have to, in this case, we are handling the each and every item. Okay, so now let us take the item in the output panel. That is the output panel is like a queue item. Item is item. And what is the next thing? So like a check decision, flow decision, and checks whether the new city is available. This is just display name, only understand for understanding. Okay, here so new, what is it, queue item is not nothing. Okay, this is a performer we are adding, we are making. So if it is a nothing, so if you want to change the labels also, city false, no cities. Okay, cities. And so just for understanding, so by seeing the a flow chart or your workflow itself, the people has to understand, oh, this is a flow, it is going, instead of simply using the default values, it is a best practice if you just make that meaningful by seeing the flow chart itself. Okay, now if it's a city, with a city, then what we have to do? With the city, what we have to do? If there's no city, just use the log message, simply right line, no cities, you can simply no no more cities per process. Okay, that is the exit. The city is there. What we have to do? We have to just do some process. Just take this one into here. Is a process, and within this process, what is our goal? The goal is it has to open the. So let's take a try and catch first of all. Try catch block. Okay, in the catch blocks, just take the exception, system exception, and take the like a log message, something like this is the error exception dot message. It's a log message. Why it is a failure? There is a system exception. Exception is a system exception, and suppose if it's not suppose for example, yeah, let us take this system exception. Okay, the try block. What is the next thing? So open the application, open browser. What is the browser you want to open? You want to open the Google. Just copy this google.com URL. Is it audible? Hello? My network is good. Sorry, it is good, right? Okay. Okay, so this is a URL, and here is the type I am changing to the Chrome. If you want to maximize, just drag and drop the maximize window, and after that, so what we have to do, we have to type the information. Just use a type into activity to type the weather in that particular city. So indicate on the screen, select a text box which you want to open, and type the information like so. Just check the selector. If the selector looks like good, yeah, it looks like good, and here what's the queue item dot specific content bracket open double quotes. What is the field name? Field name is a city name. There's two fields are there. City name. Okay, let's take the city name. Okay, and press enter. So here dot toString and press enter. So send the some keys, press enter after typing. So it's not only the city name, so you have to pass the weather in, right? Weather in that city name, weather in this city name. Okay, just do the same thing here. Okay, weather in city name. What we have to do? We have to take the screenshot, right? First of all, we have to take the screenshot. So use the take screenshot activity. So in the take screenshot activity, click on the take screenshot and select the which one you have to take. We have to take entire thing, right? Entire this image. Take a screenshot. So before that, always it is better to check your selector. Okay, so here output is a IMG weather image. Okay, so save this screenshot, save image. This is a weather image, and what is the path? The path again is coming from the queue. It's a independent, everything is independent. Okay, so we just concentrate on the queue. So whether the queue items is having the folder, so this folder is having the up to the city name folder. Okay, so let us take this path, some dynamic content, queue item dot specific content of city name dot toString. So it is coming up to that folder. After that, plus slash. What is the next thing? So the date, right? The date. There is a date. In the Bangalore, what we have is the date.png. Okay, just go here. This is our input output. Here instead of this, we can just simply use now.toString of dd hyphen mmm. Okay, 4 m's will give the full name yy. Okay, so it will create a save the image into um, the page and take a screenshot. So if you want to before, so wait before. So if you want to wait before taking the screenshot, some number, it is a one number. If you want to just what is that, milliseconds? By default, it is a 300 milliseconds are there, and just making this 1000 milliseconds are there. Okay, 1000 milliseconds. That's 1 second, 1000 milliseconds means. Okay. Once it is saved, what is the next thing is it has to log the info, right? Log the info. So just copy this one, log the info. That is for appending the activity. Append text, append line. So where we have to append, there is a text. What text you want to append? There is a text. This is a text we have to append. There's a whole thing is like a the first thing is like now.toString. Within that double quotes, what is this? Y. This is a 3 D's, M 3 M's. This is a DD. This is a HH. If it is a small h, it is giving us 24 hours time. If it is a capital H, it will give the sorry. So small h is give the 11 12 hours, and capital H is 24 hours. Small is a minutes, capital is a month, and small is a minutes. What is the temperature? So you have to give the temperature also here, right? So for getting the value, get text activity to get the temperature. Indicate on the screen. Go here, press F2 again for selection. Is the temperature. Make sure that this temperature number should not be available in the selector, because the temperature number will change every time. This is a temperature. Create a variable temp value. This temp value you are adding into this line. Instead of 26, you are adding temp value, not to string. Okay, that's it. It's giving the where we have to save. That is another thing. Where we have to save. We have to save in the same location, but not where the PNG is saving. Not in the same location, but not in the same file. So this is like a after this info.txt. Okay, the city path after that info.txt. Okay, let's remove these two folders there. I'm just removing this Ongol Kochi. Okay, so only Ongol Kochi. Ongol is not there. Okay, Ongol folder is not there, and let us see. So Ongol folder is not there, but the Q Ongol folder is there. See here in the Q, Ongol is there, but the actual folder is missing. Okay, that is some system exception. Okay. If everything is working fine, so what we have to do? So we have to just simply, once it is done, just close the application, close tab, because we don't need any more this Google Chrome. So we're closing that particular tab, and after completing everything, so we're closing the tab, and the next thing is like a queue status, queue set transaction status. So drag the set transaction status. Queue name is like the transaction item is like a queue item, and what is the status? Success. If any exception occurred in the cache block, what you have to update? You have to update the system exception. Here is a system exception. System exception like so there's a fail, and this is a business application exception. What is the reason? Exception dot message is update the system exceptions. What will happen? So you have to give the transaction item, queue item. Okay. Okay, so our flowchart is ready. for the one item, we're just ready. Let us try to run. We have how many items? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 items are there, new items. Let us try to run the performer. And so let us wait. We'll see what will happen. So which one it will take. So it is opening the Google, typing the weather in Bangalore, taking the picture, taking the temperature, and close the Chrome, and done for the one record. Let's go to our folder, go to the Google, Bangalore, and see here Bangalore, right? The text is also added here. Got it? So if I run again, just refresh here, the Bangalore success. What is the next thing? Chennai. Let's try to run the Chennai. Chennai. Open weather in Chennai, take in the picture, save as image, and take the information. Let us see whether this folder contains the details or not. Chennai, image is taken, the Chennai weather. Okay, so information is logged. Okay, so next one is what? If I refresh, if I try to run Hyderabad, it has to run, right? Hyderabad, it has to run. Suppose I want to run not Hyderabad, I want to run immediately Trivandrum. What we have to do? In this transaction item, you have a reference, starts with, the reference is starting with Trivandrum. See here, Trivandrum. If the reference is starting with the Trivandrum, let's take that one, not the other thing. Let's run. Actually, it's supposed to start a Hyderabad record, but now it is taking the Trivandrum record, because even though there is a lot of items are waiting in the queue, but you can specify these items we have to process. So if you have a reference, that is the use of the reference. Okay, see here the queue items. So you have a new items, but even though the transaction Trivandrum is taken, because we use the Trivandrum reference. What if I run the same bot? Because we don't have a reference, the item starts with the Trivandrum, right? What happened? It went to this location. See here, there's no transaction data available. Okay, just remove this reference. It will take normal items. Okay, so how can we connect to continue for the further every records from the bot from the process? So how many are there? We have a two more records are there. So let's try to run. And here the thing is like, so Ongol is not available. Okay, so let us try. What will happen if I type the Ongol? Ongol folder is not there in the system. See, it is typing the second time Ongol. What happened? Why is it typing the second time? While it is typing Ongol, it got error. What is the error? So what is the error? So see here, it is a one goal. Understand? It went to the retry. It went to the retry scope. After that, again it is trying the same thing, and it is throwing the exception. It is saying the save image failed. Okay. So file name is invalid path. The file names, this Ongol folder is not there. That's why it is not able to save. Okay, it is a system exception. System exception or application exception. See here, application exceptions. What is application exception? The folder is not found, file not found. Okay, so selector not found, our browser is not responding. Sometimes if you open your results website, it's a server not found error will come in the picture, right? So this is a system related issues. Before previous use case, we saw what is the application business exceptions. Here it is a system based exception. Suppose let us try to run the process again for this one. The queue, run the queue, run the dispatcher. It will add again all the items to the queue. So, oh my God, so it's not able to add because we already have all the items. It is not allowed us to add the new item. What we have to do now? We have to wait up to tomorrow. Okay. So anyway, so I'm just adding one more thing like a hour, HH, and small minutes. Okay, so that definitely it's a unique thing. Okay, minutes, and if you add more than seconds also, suppose if I just add the seconds, it's a totally unique thing. Okay, hours, minutes, and seconds. Let's try to add. Do you understand? That is a use of the reference. If you use a reference, it won't allow you to add the new items in the same reference. You can now just see here, as the reference is with the seconds. That's why it is adding. So in the Trivandrum is there, but here the Trivandrum is with the up to date, but here is a with the seconds. If you run again, also not a problem because the seconds is changed, right? It will add. So if you use up to seconds, it is a unique thing only. Now, let us try to run the process. See here, while running the process, what it will do? It will take the new item, the Bangalore. So first one is Bangalore. Taken the picture and save it as today's date, and Chennai. While it is typing, if you disturb, suppose for example, so while it's typing, if I just see it is typing, so I'm just disturbing something, so it's not properly came. I'm just you can just simply some disturbing. Okay, some application is not responding. What will happen? What will happen? It will throw the application exception. Okay, if anything is not responding, actually it's supposed to go for that Trivandrum, and it has to take that information. That's why now it is got exception, the application exception. Now it will throw the application exception and update the queue item, go for the retry for one time. Okay, and again it is trying. See the Trivandrum, while it is doing the Trivandrum, it got exception. What we have Trivandrum, it is retried, and it is a properly added item to the Trivandrum. Okay, so it's anyway it is overridden, and see it is updated. So it's appending. So we use the append, not the write. Okay, so when is that? 12:49 it is added that this is a date, and 12:54 is added the and appending the new line and adding the images to this one. Okay, Trivandrum. Okay, so now what we can do is simply we just publish this process to the cloud. I'm publishing weather perf to the orchestrator. Okay, next one is a dispatcher. So while dispatching, suppose dispatcher, what is the duty of the dispatcher? Duty of the dispatcher is dispatching the items to the queue. Okay, so just check so whether we have a new queue items. We don't have any new queue items, right? So now see here, go to the automations, the process, create a process for the performer, perf, weather perf, create a process selecting the environment, these things now, create it. We have a process called weather perf, and go to the triggers. See here, triggers is there. There is a two types of triggers are there. One is a timely based trigger. You can just schedule your bot by the minutes or hours or daily or weekly. So if it's only the Saturday and Sunday, or only the weekends, weekdays, or months. Okay, advanced anything, so you can schedule by using the timely based triggers. And there is another thing is like a queue based trigger. Okay, what is this queue based trigger? So if any new queue item is added into the queue, if you want to run a process immediately, this is a queue trigger. Let's create a trigger like so, weather queue, weather process trigger, and select the queue. So which queue you want to apply. So the weather queue, we're selecting the queue, and the process, once your new item is added in this weather queue, which process you want to run. So performer, weather performer, see here, weather performer. What is it? This is a trigger name and there's a queue name. So if any new item is added into the queue, weather queue, you will just run this process. Okay, that's what we are just specifying. The trigger is active, enable the trigger. So now what we are doing, so we're just running the, just check the performer, check the queue items, go to the queues and type the weather daily weather queue, right? We are using the daily weather queue. Then we have to apply the daily weather queue only. Okay. Yeah, daily weather queue, not the actual queue. So let's open here. Go to the automations, triggers, modify your this trigger to the daily weather. Okay, so daily weather queue. Okay, so update the queue. If any item added in the daily weather queue, it has to run the performer. So that's what we're configured. Daily weather queue. So here there is no new items. What we can just do, so I'm just not going to run the performers. We don't have a performer here. We have only the dispatcher. Let's close all the things. We have a performer only. Okay. So here also we're just adding the item to the queue. So see here, we're just adding the item to the queue. So disable everything. So I'm just simply adding the item to the queue by just using the information like here. Suppose for example, we just created the one folder called one goal. Okay, one goal. This is a folder path. A folder path, and this folder is empty. Go here and just close this one. Go here and go to the item information. Here I'm just giving the full path of the Ungol folder, and here we have to give the full path of the Ungol folder, and this is the city name is like a Ungol. Got it? Ungol and Ungol folder. Just click on the OK. So you are adding, see, we're not running the performers. We have only single item, we're adding the item to the queue, and we don't have anything. So open. Let's run this one and check what will happen. So we're just running the dispatcher. Okay, so we have something like a what happened? Yeah, we have to add the reference also, right? Reference, that is a problem. Okay, I'm just typing the ungol underscore that seconds, because earlier we used the variable. Let's run. We don't have anything ungol. We ran just the dispatcher. See, we ran the just dispatcher, but what will happen? The dispatcher is triggering the creating the queue, and the queue is triggered a performer process. The performer process run the robot, and the performer process open the ungol. See here, this is the ungol image. Got it? This is another interesting thing. If just imagine this is a totally two different robots, two different systems running in the cloud. Okay, so if you add any new thing, got it? So if you add any new thing here, so it automatically let's create a Kakinada. Okay, Kakinada. So see here, Kakinada. Just create a one folder like another folder. I don't know whether it will come Kakinada or not. Anyway, so let's try to run the process. And the Kakinada is there. So what it is? It's like a loosely coupled in the sense dispatcher work is adding the item to the queue. Once the queue is added into the a new item is added into the queue, immediately the trigger will occur, because we just enable a trigger queue based trigger. If any new item is added into the particular queue, then immediately we can run the process. That facility is also there. Okay, so what will happen in the Kakinada? Go to the Kakinada folder. So a new item is added, right, and added in the process. So it's like a appending. Suppose I'm running the same thing Kakinada again, and Kakinada again. Okay, so what happened? It's in the middle. So middle it is having the issue. Suppose yeah. 2 items we are added. Okay, 2 times we are added. Yeah, yeah. Let's go to the calculator logs. We have a 2 times which is added. Got it? Do you understand? That is about the queues and what we learned. So just for summarize what we learned today. So add queue items. Add queue item is adding the queue item. So one more thing is I have to tell you about this. Suppose, for example, if you have a Excel cities, okay. This is a city. What is a queue item we're just adding? Adding like a city name, right? City name is a column name, and what is a path? Is a path, okay? It's a path. So let's open uh, the performer also. Another one more activity I want to interesting to tell you. Suppose you don't need to add any reference. Okay. Yeah. See here. These are folders, right? Okay. So these are folders, and the path is also. You just simply disable the path, remove the path. Suppose here is a Bangalore. Suppose Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kakinada, Kochi, Ongole, Trivandrum. Okay, suppose this here is like a path. The path is there. Path is up to here is common, right? Up to here is a common. So equal to this one slash and ampersand this one. Okay. So I'm just copying this path also. Okay, copy paste as a values instead of this. Copy paste the values so that together all the things are the values. Okay. We have a one data table. Okay, and weather performer. Okay, we have a one data table, and this is a city name and the path. So what we can do, so I'm just deleting entire city. Okay, entire city. Is there any folder is there opened? It's not able to. Okay, maybe some text file we opened. Remove the text files. Is there any image we opened? Excel. Excel is not there. Try again. Yeah, it's removed. Okay, we don't have any folders here. So what we can just simply do in the performer. So before that, so I'm just disabling this the queue trigger, the jobs, and the triggers. You can just remove this, disable this one, disable, so that it won't execute. So if the queue item is added into the queue. And what I'm saying is like a suppose in the performer, after taking this one, the new item is there. The first thing is like a create a folder. Okay. So the create folder. So what is the creating a folder? The creating this particular while you are saying. So what you are. This is a folder. If goal folder is not there, it has to create. Okay, the performer has to create. So what is the folder path? Up to here. To here. Okay, it will create a folder. Okay, anyway, just add separately. We'll just run separately and adding the items. So how can we add the items? So what is the thing is like as we don't have it here in the city folder, but here we have a city name and the path of the folder, right? So path of the folder. So you have to add everything into the queue. So let's check the queue. Daily weather. There is no queue items. I think new queue items is not there. New queue items is not there, right? So what we have to do, we have to add these items to the queue. So here, instead of in the dispatcher, up to now we saw the add queue item, right? I'm just deleting this add queue item. How can we add the items? So first of all, read range activity to read the entire data from the Excel. The Excel is like this is a cities is a path, I think. Cities is a path. Go open here, give the path, and what is the sheet name is a sheet one only, and here create a on more data table. What is that? Cities DT. Okay, so this cities DT. Normally, what we are doing is how can we add into the queue each and every row from this Excel? Reading by using the for each row activity, adding the queue item by using the add queue item activity. But here there is a bulk queue item, bulk bulk add queue item is there. Okay, it's drag and drop. If you have a data into the data table, so looping each and every item from the data table is taking time. There is activity called bulk add queue item is there. What you have to specify, you have to specify what is the queue name. It is bulk queue item. What is the queue name here? And what is the data table? What is the output of this one, right? Output of the cities is adding here. Okay, what it will do? It will blindly go and add everything into the queue. Let us, before running, let us see, is there any new items out there? There's no new items. Totally, we have a 17 count and try to run this one. Okay, so we have to close the Excel. So because the Excel is open, right? Close the Excel, run the, because we use the workbook activities. That's why make sure that so you have to close the Excel. Now it is reading the Excel and adding the, okay, I have to add the reference, right? I'm just doing so, create a, if it is a reference is there for your queue, it won't, the bulk add queue item would work because bulk add queue item is just, it is adding the items to the queue without having any reference. Okay, so let us take this one. Type the daily. It's not coming anything. So let's create a new queue item. So without any reference. Okay, so just type daily queue item. So just daily queue item. So open the transactions. So we don't have any transactions. Let's add this dispatcher. Oh, it's a performer, right? So perform. Okay, dispatcher we only added. But see, there is no folders available in this cities folder, and you can see this it will add the new items to the queue. Let us wait. Maybe yeah, it takes time. So, but just check the queue. Do you have a queue items? Yes, we have a queue items. It seems it's loading. See here, we have a queue items. So, what is this queue items? So all the things which is from the Excel, okay. Now let us run the performer. The performer, what it will do, it will, even though you don't have any folder in the cities, so it will take the one item from the queue and open the Google, type the weather in that particular city name, take a image. Before taking, it will create a folder if the folder is not there. City folder is not there in the corresponding path. Okay. So I think this is the overall picture, like it's a data entry and the queue items, these things and all. Okay. So normally we are typing the information into the Google, right? Just imagine there is a one web application or Windows application where you are entering the data, reading the data from the queue and entering the data into that particular input form and click on the submit. That's it. So here we're just adding the data into the search box in the Google. But imagine so you just have the something like you have a one Windows application. You have to input the data from the reading the data from the queue and feeding the information into the input data entry form and click on the submit button. That's it. So see here, all the queue items is success, simple success. Go to the folders. The folders is created. If we go and check the Hyderabad, Hyderabad is added, image is added, and text file is added. Got it? So that is about the queues and data entry. Okay, so do you have any doubts? I think so. If you have any doubts, you can just ask now. Audience, do you have any doubts?
Participants, do you have any doubt? Post it in chat window. Almost lunch hour.
Mm, do
Oh,
you all understand queue items?
yes, sir. Okay, I have one simple question.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we get meta information?
Meta information in the sense?
In the sense, see in that we have a lot of HTML file in the browser showing HTML content, right? That
Yeah.
right, all are visible to us, right? Some content is not visible to us. Say, for example, the file about the file. What is that file name? When it was created? Who created? That kind of image.
Yeah, we
Is
can
impossible.
get.
Oh,
Suppose you're asking like a meta information like a, so suppose for example, if this is a file, this is a file, and you have to get the file information. Like a, so you have a, let's create a fi one variable, uh, file info. So file info is a variable. Okay, so file info, and if you just use the assign operator, fi, and this file info, new file info of, there's a path, right? The path, and just the path. Let's copy this path. Yeah, this is a path. Okay, so here you can just use the meta information like a, not only the message box, you can add the meta information to the a queue. So like a, what is the file size, like a, what is the meta information here? It is getting, so what is the length? That means length is a size. Okay, and let us take another parameter like a created time. See here, creation time. When is it created? These are all the meta information. This is what you are asking, right, sir?
yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so and there's a lot of attributes out there. What is the folder name? What is the full name? What is the last
Oh,
access last access date and time? Okay, so if you run, these are all the variables we are getting now in the message box. But the same thing you can just see here. Two for, it's a bytes it is giving. You can convert that bytes into the what is that, MB or KB, right? And you can add. So
okay.
when it's like a, I think. So when it's added, see here, when it's
Yes.
basically this
Yeah.
is a modified created date. See here, created date and modified date, these things and all. Okay, so
Yes,
got
sir.
it.
Yeah.
When is the last open? This is a metadata. Yeah, you can get.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for your live demonstration on Q's concept and data entry and other. Right. You are very lucky to have you here. And
Thank you very much, sir.
yeah,
Thanks.
thank you. Kumara ma'am, can you wind up the session? Yeah, please.